Singer Prisma looks identical to Singer Heavy Duty. Over the past couple of years, the heavy duty machines have begun to come in a variety of different shell styles. On the initial machine, it was all gray, but then they started offering an all white version and then an all black version. And I've even seen a cosplay version of the machine. In addition to offering different colors, they have also offered a variety of different features on each of those machines. It mostly just varies in the amount of stitches that is available on each model of the Singer Heavy Duty. The price range of Singer Heavy Duty ranges anywhere from $150 all the way up to $400 for the computerized version. The Prisma, as of the time of the recording of this video, is $200. The price range of the machine already points to the machine being for either a beginner sewer or a younger demographic, because more advanced sewers typically spend more money on their machines. A lot of people get offended when I do a demographic detail of each sewing machine, but I really think that it's important to do this so that we can understand who Singer thinks this machine is for. If you're going to be offended by my commentary, then please go ahead and click off. Otherwise, let's go ahead and take a look at the clip. Before this commercial has even started, we already have a logo dancing with very lively music playing. That is a sharp contrast from other commercials that we see on machines that are a lot more expensive. On the more expensive machines, you generally have slow jazz music playing, and then when it goes to the next clip is usually someone older. So I expect to see a young person on the other end of this white screen, but let's go ahead and see if my theory is correct. And the theory is correct. We have a young person that appears to be in their early 20s. So that means that this machine is really targeted towards Gen Z. Another thing that we can see is that she is wearing a very psychedelic outfit. And generally speaking, you're not going to find a ultra conservative Gen Zer wearing such a kaleidoscope outfit. So this is going to be a Gen Zer who is more liberal. This vinyl bag, we'd assume, was sewn on the Prism along with the outfit that she is wearing. The outfit would sew just fine on the Prism, and the bag probably would too, but I would assume that you might have some difficulty sewing through thick layers or multiple layers of thick materials using the Prism, but we'll get more to that a little bit later as we review the specs of the machine. The caption underneath the sewing machine is something that would generally be overlooked because this commercial went by so quickly. It says a machine as original as you are. So this machine is for a Gen Zer who is very eccentric and liberal. And that is a very narrow demographic for this machine from a business perspective, because there are very few Gen Zers who actually sew, and then you further narrow down the demographic into this little small pigeonhole. So I'm not quite sure how well this machine will sell for that reason, but I do think that for that demographic, this will really be an impressive machine because it fits with its rainbow and psychedelic design. In my mind, I kind of think that the Prism is identical to the Heavy Duty, just with a different name and a different print on the outside. But let's go ahead and look and see if there's any differences between the Heavy Duty and the Prism in the specifications of each machine. Before we go and look to see if there's any differences between the Heavy Duty and the Prisma, please do take the time to give this video a thumbs up. And if you're not already subscribed to the channel, subscribe and tap that notification bell to receive updates. Also, it wouldn't hurt if you would take the time to watch the commercials here because that really helps me out. Both sewing machines are 14 pounds and they have the exact same dimensions. The dimensions are as follows: 15.5 by 6.25 by 12. That is a relatively small machine, so you could probably easily carry it around your household. The motor is a 0.7 amp motor that is 120 volts and 60 hertz. You also use up 84 watts of electricity with the machine, so it's relatively low power being used by this machine, so you won't have any problems with hooking this machine up to a power bank if you ever needed to. However, you cannot expect to get a ton of power out of this motor because it doesn't even have a 1 amp motor. Some of the vintage sewing machines that I use have really low amps on them, but they pack a powerful punch because of the all metal construction on the inside of the machine, and also because of the gear configuration. I can quickly get overwhelmed when I'm talking about the gears on the Singer Heavy Duty. So for that reason, I'm going to take this in chunks. First, we're going to start off at the far right of the machine, and you can see that the hand wheel has a nylon gear that holds the motor belt. And when we work our way down to the motor pulley, that motor pulley is to a nylon that allows for the machine to run at higher speeds. However, these nylon gears are not going to last forever. Now we're looking at the very bottom of the machine, and on the very bottom of the machine we have two metal gears in high stress areas. Those gears will allow the machine to last long enough for the warranty to expire, and they'll probably last far beyond the warranty itself because they are indeed metal gears. To the far left there is a nylon gear. It would not be a good thing if that broke. And if it did break, then you may be able to get a remanufactured one. However, a lot of times those remanufactured gears are not the best, and you pretty much have a doorstop at that point, and you might as well go on and throw away the machine and just purchase a brand new one. By the tone of my voice, you think that I was serious about that bottom nylon gear, but I'm actually not. The part of the machine that I'm most concerned about is the very top of the machine. There is a secondary belt on this Singer Heavy Duty, and there is a gear connected to that secondary belt, and that gear is where a lot of the stress on the machine would go, and it's probable that that gear would crack eventually and that you would have problems there. Also, the entire cam stack is nylon, but that's not uncommon because most sewing machines nowadays have a nylon cam stack. And for those of you who are unaware of what a cam stack is, a cam stack contains a bunch of discs, and those discs are what make your varied designs on your machine. So if a cam in the cam stack broke, then you would no longer be able to make that decorative stitch on your machine. There's also one more nylon gear up top to the far left, and I'm not really concerned about that one because it should hold up pretty well. However, there's two tension discs that are metal on the far left of the machine on the opposite side of that arrow there. And this is where, when you adjust the tension on the machine, it adjusts the amount of pressure that is put on the thread that you send through the upper tension disc. That is fine. However, I see that there are two nylon washers that hold the spring in place, and I'm a little concerned about that because I'm not so sure about how that would hold up over an extended period of time, and it is a high stress area on the sewing machine. There are advantages to having nylon gears. Nylon gears don't have to be oiled. Instead, what you would use is a gear grease, and that gear grease lasts quite a long time and allows those gears to move freely. So some would say that there's less maintenance on a nylon gears machine than there is on a machine with metal gears. However, others would argue that there's really not that much maintenance on a metal gears machine either, because you just put oil in the oil points every once in a while and it's fine. Manufacturers often cite that nylon gears machines are much lighter weight than their metal counterparts. The metal gears may make the machine slightly heavier, but not by much. Also, they say that the nylon gears make for quieter operation of the machine, but there can be arguments about that as well. Anyone who uses money would know that if you put two pennies together, then they make a clanking sound, and you get somewhat of that same type of noise when you're using a machine with all metal gears. However, you don't have this clanking noise when you have two nylon gears rubbing together. But the thing is, because the nylon gears machines are much lighter weight, you get machine vibration, and this machine vibration can sometimes outweigh the sound that you would get from metal gears rubbing together. It is also stated that nylon gears allow for a sewing machine to move faster, and that is true because the nylon gears are lighter weight than the metal ones. The heavy duty is listed as having a maximum speed of 1100, while the Prisma is listed as having a maximum speed of 1000. That is faster than a lot of beginner sewing machines on the market. Most beginner sewing machines on the market have a speed that only goes up to 860, but these go slightly faster, which is a good and a bad thing. High speeds are good because they allow you to complete sewing projects faster. However, they can also be bad for beginners because this machine has no speed control on it. You really have to learn how to put your foot down on the presser foot to make it go slow or as fast as you would like. And a lot of beginner sewists have difficulty with that, so they can get the machine to take off going really fast when they don't want it to and mess up in certain areas on a sewing project. But once you do this a few times, you eventually get the swing of how to sew at the correct speed, and it's never a problem after that. So I wouldn't deter you from getting a Singer Prisma simply because it goes really fast and doesn't have speed control. While the heavy duty is not a heirloom machine that you'll pass down to your grandchildren, it is a machine that is sufficient for sewing the vast majority of sewing projects out there. There have been loads of others out there who have shown that you can sew leather, you can sew denim, and you can sew things like canvas on the Singer heavy duty. However, there is an issue that comes into play because the motor is not strong enough to really handle really thick materials. So what you end up getting is a bunch of skip stitches. So while this machine can handle some heavy materials, heavy duty is a little bit of a misleading name because it's truly not a machine that is meant for true heavy duty sewing. If you are looking at this machine primarily for the purpose of sewing nylon webbing to Cordura fabric, or if you're primarily looking to make leather belts with this machine or leather wallets or something of that nature, then I would steer you away from this machine because this machine truly is not meant for heavy duty sewing. It is meant to be a standard sewing machine for doing regular garment sewing projects and maybe even some quilting projects, but it definitely is not meant for sewing true heavy duty materials. For that, you need either a walking foot machine or a semi-industrial, and I talk a lot more about that on my blog, so you can go over to my blog website and check that out. The Prisma has 11 stitches on it, and that is more than enough stitches for the average beginner sewist. However, if you would like to get more stitches on your sewing machine, then you can seek out some of the other heavy duty model sewing machines that are out there, but in the grand scheme of things, it's really not going to matter which model that you pick. Do I see any differences between the Prism and the standard Singer Heavy Duty? No, they're pretty much the exact same machine down to the description on the website, which is pretty much identical. So if you like rainbows and you like a white machine, then the Prism would be the one for you. Otherwise, you could just stick with the Singer Heavy Duty and get it in either gray, black, or white. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe to receive more sewing related content. Peace.